So who is Ra? Who is Ra, the loved one?
So Ra, they identify themselves as Ra, and I say they because if you don't know anything about the law of one, just a summary of what a social memory complex is. The internet is like a very early stage of a social memory complex. What I like to explain it this way: if you imagine telepathic communication evolving, and apparently, over 90% of intelligent life in the universe is telepathic, not verbal. So we're actually pretty rare in terms of how we communicate. But as we keep evolving, let's imagine like you and I, Derek, learn how to exchange feelings and impressions really accurately. So we can pick on what we're feeling really easily. And then a few hundred years later, humans can actually sort of hear what we're thinking. And then a few hundred years later, it's like we can literally talk through our minds without having to speak. Well, just imagine what would happen if that ability kept happening, kept increasing, right? It's like a type of quantum entanglement in the mind. Well, at some point, you and I have absolutely no boundaries between your mind and my mind, right? I can access all of your thoughts. You can access all of my thoughts, my feelings, memories, all of it is like an open table. And then you and I at that point are really kind of one being, right? We're sort of like one self now in two different bodies. Well, the number one necessity for telepathy, at least on the positive polarity, is to love the person that you're communicating with. So love is that quantum entanglement that allows us to connect in the quantum and exchange information. So we love one another, we sort of merge minds, but then we love other people and we want them to merge with us. And so more and more minds join into this collective field of consciousness we're creating until we get to a place where, that's the nature of love, is it doesn't want to leave anybody out. So the whole planet will eventually share one mind. We call that the collective unconscious right now. We already do share a mind. The Course in Miracles says all minds are joined. The law of one says this as well. We just aren't aware that our minds are joined and connected, but we'll see that one day and be able to just be communicating all the time. So that's how intelligent life evolves in the universe. And Ra says we are a sixth density social memory complex, which again gets into the seven densities. We're in the third, transitioning to fourth. Ra is a civilization from the sixth. And they actually say we are the civilization that was once on Venus. And science has just caught on to this. This was channeled in the 80s. They say we were on Venus for, it was habitable for a couple of billion years. It was in the Goldilocks zone and had life and stuff. And in 2019, NASA actually confirmed this. They said, based on the data and the research, Venus was once a habitable planet for about 2 billion years. And everything Ross says totally lines up with what we know now. And they said that we came to your planet, your peoples, about 11,000 years ago. So 9,000 BC. And at that time, Egypt, the lifespan was only like 30 years. There was a lot of viruses. I don't know about virus is the right word, bacteria and stuff in the Nile River, mosquitoes transmitting stuff. So there's a lot of disease. Yeah, exactly. So people weren't living very long. And the whole point of third density is to incarnate here and choose a polarity, positive or negative, which means you have to have a lot of experience to do that. You have to experience both polarities. And if you only live 30 years, like, I don't know about you, man, but I'm 32 and I feel like I'm just barely figuring out what life's all about. So they were like, we got to help these people that are stuck in this perpetual spiritual childhood. So they came to Egypt and built the pyramids for them with their minds, of course. They were meant to be structures for spiritual initiation. So they were like a sensory deprivation tank experience. You go into this pyramid, it's completely dark. If you've been in the pyramid, it's very disorienting. And they would lay them down, go through breathwork techniques or whatever, use crystals, and they would activate Kundalini life force, have them experience cosmic consciousness. And once the Kundalini life force is awakened in someone, they have, 10 times more energy in their system to live longer, it activates all your latent spiritual abilities, opens your awareness, gives them everything that they were needing at the time. And then they were using the pyramids to teach them how to physically heal people with crystals. So they were trying to elongate the lifespan and teach the law of one, which says the whole universe is one being, one thought, actually. And you are all the creator, and we are the creator. We are not separate from you. But they said the people of that time took that knowledge and used it for hierarchy and power. So the elites sort of used it, as they always do, to distort it and say, we're superior to you guys and you should serve us and stuff. So when they realized, oh no, like this is being distorted and used for negative purposes, we gotta take off. And so they left Egypt. And, that's why we have the Giza pyramids that to this day, we have not the faintest clue how we could even build them today, let alone how they built them thousands of years ago. Ra actually explains all of that. So when they contacted this being, they were like, oh, your name's Ra. Are you like Ra from Egypt? And they say, essentially, but your people gave us that name. We don't call ourselves Ra, but your Egyptian people thought we were Ra, the sun god, when we came down. And so we said, no problem, call us whatever you want. And that was kind of the name they were given.